Welcome back. Today we're tearing open Rachel Zoe's Curateur Box.
Yeah.
The one promising high fashion luxury delivered quarterly. We've got sources looking right at that intersection of, let's call it aspirational marketing and, well, the operational side of things,
Yeah.
which can get messy. So the basics from what we read, it's $125 each quarter. They claim you get over $400 in retail value across 5 items. Like for fall 2025, there was eyeshadow, some designer accessories, luxury skincare. That's the pitch, right?
Exactly. It sounds fantastic on paper, a shortcut to glamour, maybe save some money. But okay, our mission here is to unpack that math. How does it really work? And what are our sources actually telling us about the real cost behind this luxury?
Yeah.
We need to look past the glossy photos and into the actual business side.
Okay, let's do that. $400 value for $125. That sounds amazing. Is it genuinely high-end stuff, or is it more about, like, clever marketing?
Well, the sources really hit on this idea of marketing fiction. It's a core concept here. They point out that these super high retail prices, often they're set specifically for these boxes by brands that exist primarily in subscription ecosystems.
Meaning, these aren't brands you'd find easily elsewhere.
Pretty much. That handbag they claim is worth $200. It's not a Gucci or a Prada. It's likely a brand where, honestly, nobody actually pays that $200 price tag. That price is almost, well, it's part of the marketing itself, a phantom price.
Huh. But wait, the sources do mention the items themselves are often genuinely decent quality? Doesn't that count for something? If you like the surprise.
It counts for something, sure. But you have to think about what people actually keep. Most reviewers, the honest ones anyway, say they maybe keep 1 or 2 things they love. The rest, they gift it or it sits in a drawer.
Okay.
So if you boil it down, you're effectively paying maybe over $100 just for those 1 or 2 items you really wanted. The sources call this, and I like this phrase, expensive mystery shopping with anxiety. It's not really savings in the traditional sense.
It's expensive mystery shopping.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so the value proposition is shaky, but let's pivot, because you mentioned operational reality and the sources. Wow, they paint a pretty stark picture there, don't they?
They really do. This is where it gets quite concerning. The biggest red flag. It's external, the Better Business Bureau. They give Curateur an F rating.
An F, seriously.
An F. And it's not just from, like, one bad month. The complaints cited go back years. It suggests something more systemic.
That's pretty damning. So what kind of chaos are we talking about? What did the sources find? Shipping delays.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Consistent delays, sometimes stretching out 2 months.
2 months.
There's even a specific story in there about summer boxes arriving in September.
Oh, come on. When beach season is basically over.
Exactly. You get your beach towel when it's time for sweaters. It kind of defeats the purpose. And then there's the whole cancellation and refund mess.
Yeah.
People reporting getting charged after they canceled.
Right, and having to really fight to get their money back. And this customer service apparently suggested some users buy more stuff from their shop.
To get a discount.
To get a discount on their delayed subscription box order. It's kind of bizarre, right? Upselling you while you're waiting for something overdue.
That is wild. And it really underlines the risk, doesn't it? Especially if you prepay for a year. The policy is all sales final, no refunds, no returns. So annual subscribers pay $450 up front.
Yep, $450. Committed.
Right.
With basically zero recourse if things go sideways with shipping or, anything else.
Wow.
So connecting it all, yeah, the items might be physically decent, like the sources say, but you add the F rating, the operational nightmares, these pricing games, the whole thing starts to feel less like shopping and more like fashion gambling, as one source put it.
Fashion gambling. Yeah. Okay. So the bottom line for you listening, if you've got cash to spare, and you truly don't mind when things arrive, or if you'll even like them, maybe. But if you think you're pulling a fast one on luxury retail getting a massive steal, well, the sources suggest the house usually wins here.
It definitely raises a bigger question, doesn't it? At what point does all the luxury branding just get totally swamped by the actual functional reality of getting the box? And, what's the real price we're willing to pay for that feeling of convenience and surprise when the delivery itself is so unreliable? Something to think about.